Scarlett hates Malala. Big fan of the Taliban, though. Come on, that's fucking
like,
gold. We're not going to leave that in?
Okay.
All right, so do we want to actually have a theme here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you take notes? Are you wearing a cardigan? Is this like... This is like a session. I feel like you were going to bill us by the hour for this.
Did you see him yesterday?
I think that he's going for, like... He wants to look together. He told me that, I guess somebody said that he looked like he gave up at the end of last semester.
He said I looked like I gave up.
Someone, you.
It wasn't me. I mean, look at me.
Look at
I gave up like 20
Friday.
years ago.
Yeah, at least
Casual
I looked like I
Friday.
gave up, so I just decided to go to the thrift store and
You
buy
decided to lean into the Modern Family dad
whatever.
style.
No, I'm trying to dress like I'm from the 80s.
You look like Ty Burrell.
No.
That's a compliment. He's a handsome guy.
I don't know. Wait, who's Ty Burrell?
I don't know. You
I don't
busted on my fucking whatever it is. You busted on me yesterday with like.
I wasn't busting on you. I
Oh
just thought it
no!
was a
Fucking
joke.
shuttle service.
Oh,
Oh, Windows Vista. That was good. The specificity of Windows Vista was actually really good. I thought.
what did we say we were going to talk about on our press?
All right, well, we veered off the Leonardo DiCaprio thing, so I want to bring up a topic, right? And I'm going to bring up a topic that's very broad and very general, but I think it will allow us to talk about certain things. I want to talk about what it's like to be dating at the age that you are. So I feel like it's very, very different than when I was your age. Like, just like the entire mechanism of how people start dating is so different now. There was, like, no texting.
I met
like,
Joe on Tinder. In the beginning
there
of
you
the
go.
pandemic.
That's not something that existed, right? Like,
Yeah.
like there were, like, you know...
I'm like finally not ashamed to say it after like 7 or 8 months. I have no clue.
There, you know, there was no Tinder. There was
Yeah.
no. I mean, there were cell phones, but like they were very big, and you had to plug them into a cigarette lighter. not
I still plug my into a
all
cigarette
the way,
lighter.
but like, I don't know. Like, how do you? So if you see someone that you like, right? How would you approach that person?
Oh my god, this is what me and
You're
John
asking
were
the
talking
wrong
about.
person. bro.
I'm not.
Yeah,
you
John
guys.
cannot
Because-
approach this person.
I'm not talking about any specific
Okay,
person.
hey,
I am not.
Now I
am.
am.
I am
Like-
talking about in general, right? Because
Yes.
I remember that, like, I forget, I was having a conversation a couple years ago with somebody, a student, and I said, they were talking about, like, if you notice somebody, like, you're at the mall, at the food court or whatever,
You
and,
don't
like,
go
you
up to
notice
them.
somebody, and, like, you just go up and say hi.
You know,
No.
Like, no, that's so creepy. And I was like,
You
how,
don't do
like,
that.
how was that creepy? And I just don't
Don't do
understand
that.
how engaging someone in conversation is creepy.
It is.
it just
Explain.
I don't know. I actually had boys come up to me at parties last year, not this year because I have morals, and like ask me, I think you're my class president. I'm like, well, I think you're a freshman, and but yeah, that's literally like a pickup line that happened 3 times.
Okay.
How funny, like the
But,
balls.
so, like, the balls to come up to you and say, hey, I think you're my class president.
But like, what if I wasn't like the lead-in? What would it be?
Or like, hey, aren't you in my, my effective writing class, right? That's creepy.
No, I did that
would do
freshman
that.
year,
That's-
and I was deemed as almost creepy at a party. I went up to this girl who I thought was cool in class. I'm like, oh my god, hey, like you're in this, like you're in Scarborough's with me. She was like, yeah, nice to see
I don't.
you.
Can't you just be like I'm a pretty outgoing person. I say hello to lots of people. Like
Yeah.
like I guess like clearly I'm married with 3 kids. People know I'm not hitting on you, right? Is that like, is it
People
just
know
like
I'm not hitting on
Like,
you.
but even if I was like, I'm at like a little league board meeting or something, and I see somebody in the bar, I'm like, oh, you like the Red Sox? I like the Red Sox. Whatever, right? Like, that's creepy.
I think the feeling is right now is that everybody's doing their own thing, and if you're fucking with that in public, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Expand on that.
Like,
That's
if
what
you're-
Larry King used to say. He died, by the way.
I know he died.
Yeah.
Super dead.
Did you ever
Super
see
dead.
him mispronounce chocolate souffle and Mark Wahlberg?
Say it again. Do it.
He goes instant family with Mark Wahlberg.
That's fantastic. Did you ever see his mean tweets on Jimmy Kimmel? It was like, if Larry King died and they skinned him and had his skin leathered, it was like this whole thing about you'd have enough leather to cover the whatever. I don't know. It's just funny. What do you mean by like people are doing their own thing and don't fuck with it?
Well, I mean, you've commented on it before. There's a lot of people with headphones in, so everybody's going somewhere. There's not a lot of room for socialization unless. Okay, this is kind of my personal opinion. I like to meet people. I don't like kind of dating apps and that sort of stuff because it just feels so like foreign to me. I really like to meet people that I'm either working with or.
So you already want to have a connection with someone, probably.
Yeah, I like to have like a general sense of a connection before I even find them attractive. You know what I mean?
Yes and no, but I also could call BS to that. To some
I mean, you can
degree.
find somebody. You can find somebody like objectively like beautiful.
Right, and you you did, right?
Okay,
some,
And you did.
about
in
this.
some instances. I'm not talking about anything specific. I'm just saying.
This is
there's
what he's
such a
doing
thing
to you.
as, like, you
Don't
see-
take the bait.
Look, listen, you see you see someone, you're like, oh, that is an attractive person. That is like a subjectively to me attractive person.
Yeah.
I would like to say hello to that person.
Not
right?
me.
No, no.
Right.
No.
So that's what it
No.
is. So that's okay. Okay. What is it? Is it the nerves?
I'm
or,
gonna like find them on Instagram and look up their like 11th grade basketball varsity scores and just.
Okay, so is it all? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that you guys have like that kind of instant access,
like,
and you could like stalk these people before you ever even say.
Yeah,
hello.
I
You can
do.
do
I
homework.
saw what like
You
math
can do
team
homework
Joe
and
was on.
You can do homework and make yourself in the most presentable sense.
That is so horrible, dude.
I
Everybody's
know.
curating their
I knew
lives.
everything
I know.
about him.
I know.
That is horrible.
Yeah, you can present the most
Yeah.
appealing version of yourself in the way that you think they would find most appealing before you even say hi to them.
That is so disingenuous.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
works.
I guess that's all I have.
That's why.
Yeah, but it works like, okay, is my question. So it works, but does it work? Because eventually, you know, unless you're completely going to change yourself to the person you've curated yourself to be, you're going to turn into who you actually are, right?
It depends on how
Yeah.
horny you are. Let's just be honest.
Okay, so it's just like, okay, so I'll do this, I'll get laid, and then I'll move on.
I don't
don't
know.
think I've ever-
never done that shit.
I'm not, you know.
I mean, it's.
I'm thinking.
I mean, there's a lot of hookup culture now. Like that's kind of the thing.
But I mean, there's always been.
But
hookup
do you
culture,
change
right? I mean,
yourself
that's
from
not
each
like,
person?
Hookup culture used to be like, you know, you're at a party and you see somebody and then you hang out with that person for that night. I mean, I never
That's
did
it.
that. Like,
I know, but
I'm not a hookup.
You're not a hookup. It's easier now. Well, is all I'm saying.
What was
So,
our
like,
what was our word we always said when we screwed up? That was a convenience.
Don
word?
Rickles?
Don Rickles. Yeah. It's easier now.
Yeah, Tinder's like you literally can see somebody's face and be like, "Yep."
Right, but so okay, so let's take
Granted,
it.
I don't have any.
People on
experience, so
Tinder
it's-
all want different things, and like it's supposed to be conceived that they all want the same thing, and they don't. And that's why I watched YouTubers in Manhattan, and they're like, okay, you use this app for this, and this app for this, and this for this.
So my
But
little
here we
brother,
only have
who's
one.
now 30, I don't know, something, whatever. He's been dating a girl for a while, but like,
Yeah.
at the time they like were on again, off again, right? But so he went on a couple of dates. I think it was called like, it's just lunch or like coffee and a bagel.
Coffee and bagel.
Yeah, so it's like
No way.
Yeah, but it's like the whole point is like,
Coffee meets bagel, I think it's called.
yeah, it's like, let's go get a coffee. Like this is basically. But here's the thing, right?
I like
when I was your age, I would be like, hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Now there's like this intermediary where it's like I need to go on to the coffee and bagel app to find out if I can get a coffee with this person, right? And it's just sort of just like, why don't you just say, hey, you want to get a coffee? Hey, Malala. Hey, Jim. Hey, Steve. Hey, whoever. Hey, what are you doing after this? Want to get a coffee?
Yeah.
Let's go to Pour, get a coffee.
I don't know, dude.
It's what I'm saying is that like, but that would be creepy.
That's why rom-coms are so fun to watch because nobody does that in real
You're
life. anymore.
so right.
Nobody does that in real life anymore.
Well,
So
now with
that's why-
Corona,
So there's
especially
no,
now.
but like Corona regardless, right?
Yeah.
Like this is like not a Corona thing. Like you see a person you're attracted to, you maybe you're in the class with them, right? You know, it would be creepy for you to go up to that person and say, "Hey, do you want to get a coffee after this?"
Especially if you do not know
Especially
them.
if you don't know them. Yeah.
Okay, what if you know them casually? You've met them a couple of times.
That's less bad.
It's less bad.
If it's
but
the opposite sex, it's a little bit more bad.
So it's like, what is wrapped in that idea of the coffee? Like does that mean like if I say, "Do you want to go get a coffee with me?" Does that mean like, do you want to marry me and spend the rest of our life living in a 30
and picturing our monogram on a towel.
I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I just haven't had that experience yet. Like, because, like, my one and only girlfriend was somebody I knew since, or we knew of each other since sophomore year of high school.
So you started dating in high school.
Junior year, yeah.
Okay, so what was the very first like? Did you say, "Hey, do you want to go to get a malted at the
No.
soda shop"?
What had happened was
What had happened was
we were part of the same friend group, and we were at like a Christmas party.
friend group is another term that like,
Yeah, friend group. We were-
is for you guys. This is
You know
this
what-
is
you
turning
know-
into
a friend
no.
group.
We said friends. We're buddies.
No, there's different groups of people that you can.
No,
I
it was
had-
just
I
a
had
group
3.
of people that all got together and drank beer and smoked weed.
I had
It didn't
3.
matter. It didn't matter if you were a jock
3.
or if you were a theater kid or if you were a nerd. We all just got together the weekends and drank and smoked weed.
But I had
Just
like
saying.
3 rotational
I'm
groups.
just saying.
There's
That's why we say
There's
groups
cliques now.
today.
and you can.
There's always been cliques.
Do you know? Okay, so you know on the Conan podcast, the quarantine one that I listen to always, when
Yeah.
the guy from Disneyland talks about how he has 2 groups of friends that both have annual passes but don't get along.
Yes.
That's our social.
Yes, there are groups.
right now.
Now, listen, I'm being disingenuous to say that there's not groups of friends. I was just saying that the term friend group is not something that was.
It's pretty common. Yeah,
It is.
It's better than click.
So
That
what
just
happened
sounds stupid.
was we were part of the same friend group for a while. Then we were at a Christmas party. We were all watching Polar Express, and I put my arm around her shoulder. I didn't know she was dating somebody at the time.
Did you access the Polar Express dating app before you put your arm around her shoulder?
No,
No. So
No.
you just went for it.
no. And then like we started talking and got closer later after that. And then I asked her to prom on like a piece of paper.
This is adorable.
Okay.
But that was our first date.
That's
but,
a thing too. That's like become like the way people ask people to prom. That's like a thing. That one doesn't.
Oh, my
that one
promposals
doesn't
are the
curmudgeonly
best.
bother me
well,
as
because
much.
you and I have different eyes about how asking somebody to a dance, how much social weight that adds. For me, it added a lot of social weight. For you were like, oh yeah, I
This
knew
would be
this
good
guy.
for the pictures.
This would be good for the pictures. Like literally,
You said that.
The
You
person.
did say
No,
The
listen,
person-
me and my best friend went to prom, and he said, will you, like, feel the burn with me at prom? And he, like, got American flags and stuff, and it was great. So, yeah. There was one that just handed me his
I love
baseball
when there's
hat.
awkward silences and you both look at
He's
me
like, will you be my catch to prom? I'm like, okay, Dunmore baseball player. This works.
The first person I ever asked to a dance, I wrote them a poem and gave them roses and asked them to prom.
I think, John.
That's a Joe Guido thing, if
and
I
then
might
they
say that.
ditched me.
If
20
I
minutes
may,
into the
you
dance.
are an old soul,
Yeah.
and you're a romantic, and that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But
But
it
it
does
means
not-
you,
You're
it means-
not
it means-
from
it
Old
means- But it means you
Forge.
feel things a lot more probably than a lot of people do.
Yeah, it doesn't work in the social climate.
Again, him
Well,
and Joe
dude,
Guido
but,
would be
like,
great
then,
together.
Then carve your own path is what I'm saying, right? Like, you
Yeah.
know, then maybe the dating apps are not for you. Maybe, if I may, what would be for you would be, hey, you want to get a cup of coffee?
I'm texting Joe to write me a poem.
You know, I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I know. But that's just because I'm generally shy, and I haven't had a lot of experience with flirting or talking, so that's why I.
But
am
comedy
so,
is low key flirting. Like
Oh, I
you
know.
definitely have more of a like wit and banter sense. You know, you're more heightened at that.
like the minute I can bag on somebody is immediately when I am more inclined to be attracted to them.
I literally just said
Sure.
you never wrote me a poem. LOL.
I feel like there's like there's like you get to a comfort level with people. Like, okay, I'm gonna go out there with this one. Like, have you ever farted in front of Joe Guido?
I feel like I
If you're
did.
comfortable enough to fart in front of someone, I think that's like the deal breaker. Right?
I
That's
feel like I did by an accident, and he like totally knew enough to not say anything. And I was
oh
like,
my god, see, like you gotta lean into it. Like, did you just fart? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's like sort of like
no.
That's where,
Oh, he farts in front of me though, and it's bad. And I'm like, "Wah."
that's where the genuine
Hate it.
stuff comes in. So that's why I like meeting somebody that I either work with or like go to school with, because if they have know of me and I know of them, they've seen me without putting my mask on. You know what I'm saying? So like
metaphorically.
yeah, if I like them before that, I'm already putting like a little bit of a
It's
mask on.
this analogy is hard, it's rougher during
Yeah.
Corona. Just to throw that out
Oh
there.
yeah. But yeah, so like that's why I prefer that, and it's a little more old school.
Yeah, look, I think like true love for me lies in the moments of like the goofy shit you get to do.
I
together,
fully
right?
agree.
It's like like it's whatever the weird stuff that's not for everybody. It's not it's for
Yeah.
the two of you, right? And I don't like. I don't know. Maybe I'm definitely getting old and curmudgeonly, and I'm leaning into it, and I'm cool with it. I think maybe there can be like your cult segment. Maybe we could have the what youth culture thing is Dave mad at this week, and so like
Well,
it's.
It's
But
what's Dave mad at, what Scarlett's mad at,
No.
and then why I'm mad at Scarlett.
Yes. You were popular.
We
I'm
need,
like,
we
but
need-
I was
we
the
need
fat
theme
one.
songs. We need theme songs for these.
Oh my god, we actually should. But wait,
Let's
I
get
have to
Seth do, like,
defend.
death metal theme songs.
Oh my god, mine will be the most like abrasive. Anyway, so you don't like the whole Tinder and like you're ragging on
It's
coffee.
not that
and
I
bagel.
don't like Tinder. I feel like
But
people don't talk.
but
like,
no,
people
no,
don't
no,
like.
no.
No.
Here's what it sets up. Like me and Joe, we met during the pandemic and like we played like Hangman and stuff on the phone and like made the best of it. And it can like these cute things that happen in person can kind of still exist over text.
Sure.
And then like our first date wasn't awkward. Like I thought it was gonna be horrible because it just existed on the phone.
But you've got to know each other, right? And I think that's great, right? But
So-
like if I may be so bold, right?
think it ruined-
No, you weren't on Tinder to like necessarily look for some dude to hook up with.
Yeah.
You were looking for someone to be a friend with, and then
Yeah.
So I guess there's the intent, right? Like if I'm gonna go up to you and say, hey, let's go get a coffee, and really
Yeah.
all I want to do is hook up, it's no different than that on Tinder, right? It's just, it seems like there's more buffers between human contact than there used to be, right?
How did you meet your wife?
She was the stage manager for Little Shop of Horrors. I met her in the lobby of King's College Theater.
Wow.
She was sitting at a table.
She was sitting at a table.
And I said, "Oh, she's cute." And I didn't, of course, like.
Did you ask her for coffee?
No. Our first sort of romantic time. We worked in the theater that semester.
You worked with her and got to
A
know
little
her.
bit, right? But not I didn't get cast in Little Shop of Horrors, and I didn't come around again until December of my freshman year. So I was pissed off. And then we hung out at a Super Bowl party at somebody's house, and then we started dating after that. That was but there wasn't even
this was your
an
freshman
official,
year?
Yeah.
And you've been together since your freshman year?
So we broke up at the end of freshman year because I was stupid.
What was the song that you kept listening to and crying about? You've talked about it.
I'll take you through the timeline. So
I'm excited.
We started dating in 1997.
Oh my gosh.
January.
Okay.
Right? Then we broke up in Mayish because I was an idiot and there was a senior girl who was thought I was cute, and so I wanted to hook up with her, and so we broke up. The girl was whatever, lovely person, but whatever. So then then I went home over the summer. My friends were like, "That girl that you broke up with was really cute and nice, and that other girl was an idiot."
Wait, you broke up with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I didn't cheat on her. I broke up with her so I could hook up with the other girl.
Still, that's more noble.
Bad choice.
That's mature.
Yeah.
in a way.
But then came back to school over this. Had that summer, then came back to school.
And she took you.
And I was very apologetic and whatever. And then we realized that we liked each other. And then November 2nd, 1997, we had been at a party and I was drunk and I laid on the concrete slab benches outside of Holy Cross and said, "Will you be my girlfriend again?" And she said yes. So that's when we officially started dating the second time. So we've been together since November 2nd, 1997.
So has she ever held that over to you as a joke?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the time, my senior year, when she said she wasn't sure she felt the same way about me again, and I listened to Joni Mitchell, The River, over and over and over again, and smoked a lot of weed and sat in my apartment until my friend came in and was like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Let's go to the bar. You got to get out of here."
And everything worked out?
Yeah,
How did it
then she
happen?
was like, I guess I'm cool with you. And then,
Stop, that
then
really
we got
happened,
married.
right?
Now we have 3 kids, and she's my best friend.
Oh. I
Scarlett.
love hearing people's timelines.
Can I ask you something? When was the first time you and Joe called each other?
Called?
Yes, because that is not a big thing anymore.
I
Calling
literally
people.
I won't FaceTime someone until I meet them. Because I just feel
Yeah,
like...
see, this is the rules are all different now because
Yeah.
the technology.
Calling is scary.
Well, not even that. I just, didn't want to spoil it.
So
I
you
think
guys
we
have
were...
never had the you hang up, no you hang up, you hang up, no you hang up.
Nope.
No.
That's that was obviously a thing.
Joe
You
last
know?
night was like, "I'm tired." He kept saying, "I'm really tired. I'm really tired. I'm really tired." I'm like... And I just kept going. And then I'm like, "Okay. Good night." After I literally made him talk to me for 30 minutes. But... I don't know. I think the first time we called each other was...
Is he back in Philly?
Oh, no. None of his stuff is in person again. And, yeah, but... I told him to go back and just hang out, but...
Does he have an apartment or is he dorming?
He does have an apartment, so he could go back, but, none of his friends are there, and then his parents said, kind of, you can't be going back and forth and, bring germs and shit.
Yeah, well, that's smart, probably.
Yeah, so he's just staying home. But it was we had our first date, and then we were like, "I want to see you every single day forever." And the third time we were hanging out, no, I think it was the day after the first date, I had to make a flower delivery, and this dog was literally, attacking me. It was right, next to me, and it was, barking and, jumping up at me. And it was, a medium dog, and it had a really, loud bark. And I was so shook, and I was in the country, and this guy was, laughing at his dog, and he's like, "Stop it, stop." And he wasn't, telling the dog to, really stop, and he's like, "Oh, you're just a big jerk," and all this stuff. And I'm like, this dog is gonna eat me, and the man doesn't care. And I was so shook. I was literally shaking. I, ran into this person's house with their son. I'm like, "Your dog is gonna eat me." And the, lady had to call me and apologize because her husband was, a jackass. And that was the first time I called Joe, and I was like, "Ah." And that was it. That was the first time.
The first time you called him in tears because a medium dog almost ate you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
And now I hate
sets up the
dogs.
whole relationship.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah.
That is fun.
But we'll call each other instead of texting. I don't even...
Do you preempt it saying, "I'm going to call you," or do you call them out of the blue?
I call him out of the blue.
Okay.
Let me ask you. You and your girlfriend were dating your freshman year here, right? Would you talk long distance on the phone?
No, she was very into texting. She would never call me.
Okay.
It was
Would you rather talk on the phone?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I like both equally.
I feel if you really have a good relationship with somebody, you can call them out of the blue and joke for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I tried to call them, I would have to preempt it and then make sure everything was free, and then call.
I'm just to sort of kind of shift gears slightly. Like so texting has become like a form of business communication, and I kind of hate that, right? Like, so I'll get long texts from people about like, things for theater, like, can we move the wall here? Like, and I was just like,
I like an email too.
I either want an email or let's talk on the phone. I don't want to sit here and type with my two thumbs. I really just don't.
I agree.
And yeah, I could write the text on but like text for me are for like, hey, how you doing? Funny meme. Here's a video. Right, or here's a picture of my kid, or quick things, right? I don't like long
question.
text conversations. I kind of can't stand it.
That's why I don't know if this annoys people, but the way I text is I sporadically, where I don't get the paragraph, I go a thought after thought after thought.
I do that too. Yeah, I'm really
actually,
annoyed.
that's more palatable for me for some reason.
Because
keep it up, John.
It feels active, but
So we have a thread, right? Let's see, the listeners are dying to know. There's a text thread called I have it called Comedy Class. On my phone.
Wait, I have it. You're pinned. You guys are pinned.
Me too.
Oh my god.
Your texts never bother me because I know it's going to be something that is either enjoyable or quick.
Yeah.
Right? I have another text with my buddies I play fantasy baseball with, which is just memes. It's just meme after meme after meme, and it's like, I'll look down at my phone and it'll say like 98 messages, and like I can't, because they just go all day, right? So then, at the end of the day, I'll like catch up with the text thread.
I just got a text. So, live time, I sent Joe Guido a text. You never wrote me a poem, LOL. He said, was I supposed to? Oh, wait, for the magazine. Meaning the show. No, that's not what I meant. And then he sent me this meme. The SpongeBob, where's my check, old man? And it's Joe Biden. You know that?
What?
Joe, you know that meme? Where, like, they're about to beat up the old man and SpongeBob for no reason. And it says, where's my check, old man? Anyway, so he sent me a meme, and he goes, that's my poem.
There it is. Yeah, so...
So texting.
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
texting is a level in a relationship now, right?
Yes.
Oh, we're just texting?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take me through the levels of relationship in 2021.
Oh my god. Can I?
Okay. Well, because I'm not as well versed in
Let's say you see a person who you find attractive.
Yeah.
Start.
Shoot them a DM. You shoot them a DM.
That's the first thing you do?
Wait, okay, so how do I meet them?
Let's say, for the sake of argument, maybe, they're in a class.
Yep, you find them on Instagram, you shoot them a DM.
So you do that. That's not creepy?
No.
I don't do
but
that shit.
just hold on. No,
half of the male population does.
When you say shoot them a DM, you mean, for those listeners, I'm totally hip and with the language. She means direct message on Instagram.
Isn't that creepy, though?
No.
Yeah, that to me sounds way more creepy than like, hey, do you want to get a cup of coffee?
No,
that means you looked up their first and maybe last name, went to follow them, and then also messaged them.
It used to be okay when there were
Without talking to
suggested follows on Instagram. That's when it used to be okay.
Never met the guy
you
before,
came with my
and all of a
suggested.
sudden, like from John Smith, you get a DM that says, "Hi Scarlett." Like, what does it say?
Well, okay, so say someone's in your like class, and they like find you. Someone
So they
might
say,
be
"Hi
like,
Scarlett, you're in my effective writing class."
"Oh, did you have
I like that picture of you holding that sunflower.
No, it'll be like, "Oh, do we have homework tonight?" And then I'll be like, "No." He'll be like,
for real?
But then I'll be like, "Oh, so what are you up to?" Hey, I don't want to use my data. Just send me your number.
Okay, so
that's not creepy.
that's creepy.
That's not creepy. You would not. That does not creep you out. No. But if we were in the cafeteria,
that's literally how I had my first.
If we were in the cafeteria and I walked up to you and said, "Hey, you're in my effective writing class. Is anybody sitting here? Can I sit and eat lunch with you?" That would creep you out.
You didn't ask me if there was homework. If
Holy
you ask
shit,
me
my head's gonna explode.
Okay, because
so if I said, "Hey, Scarlett, you're in my effective writing class. We have homework tonight. Mind if I sit down and have lunch with you?" That would be fine.
And then you could just be like, "Oh my god,
assertive. That's assertive. That's assertive."
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, I understand that, but like, what it was explained to me before, it was like, that's like creepy. He's like, and it was like, I don't want to say like the person actually said that's rapey.
Okay, that's not.
Okay, and that's when I was just like, wait, what? So if seeing, can I sit down with you to have lunch is, or, you know, do you want to go, like, the joke was always like, and I don't, maybe you even heard it, my thing is always like, go get a cup of coffee and a piece of pie, right? That's what you should do. To me, that's the most wholesome, wonderful way you can have
a
it.
cup of coffee and
You
a
know,
piece of pie.
yeah, let's go with some pie and some coffee, right? That's what you should do.
Stop, now it's 10:30 and I want pie.
Now.
What's that?
I think I have an answer to why that's weirder now. Is because with technology, we don't have to make new friends as often because you can just connect with old friends from far away. So you kind of have your group.
Okay.
And when you're in public, you're not necessarily looking for people to meet, as opposed to when you didn't have technology, you're like, who am I going to talk to right now? You could just be texting somebody at your table during dinner and be like, oh, I'm talking to my friend from back home. You're not looking for social ability at that moment in current time, as opposed to back then. So when somebody is not on their phone and sees you and decides, hey, I'm going to like approach that person, that's way different.
I honestly think that this is something that people my age don't understand, right? And I think that, like, honestly, like all joking aside, I feel like I'm kind of more in tune with you guys than a lot of professors are, because of the theater, because we work closely together, things like that. But I think knowing this helps me understand your psyche in a way that probably helps me teach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything sort of is wrapped around the technology.
Yeah, they screwed
Like,
us up.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it has changed, I think, the way that people are wired, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
Not in necessarily a bad way or a good way. I'm just saying,
No.
like, it's just has changed things. Like, it's, you know, like you said, you're not looking for socialization because you're on your phone.
You're either
right?
watching
Like,
a video.
I don't think there was ever a time in my life that I thought I'm looking for socialization. I think it was just like life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, like, I think you physically have to be like, all right, I'm gonna put my phone away and look for socialization.
Exactly.
Which is
Well, I look
different.
for
You're like, I can just scroll
socialization.
TikTok, text my old friends, you know, look at the Snapchats that people are posting. Like, you can do all of that without getting up or talking to anyone.
No, I will say that's really tough on your psyche. Like, my freshman year, I worked because I didn't live here, and it was so hard to find parties or do anything. It was literally hell. And I just, like, felt like I didn't belong. And I worked at a bar. I worked at Kelly's in Scranton. And I hung out with, like, 60-year-old men, and, like, that was my freshman year party scene experience. But I would see the Snapchats, and I would see the Instagram pictures, and I would be, like, sick to my stomach. Like, you're saying looking for socialization, and you're saying looking at Snapchats. It is so... The FOMO was, like, ridiculous.
So you're
Wait,
looking for socialization through the lens of social media.
No.
Or you're upset that you're missing socialization.
Exactly.
Did you find those parties appealing? I never found those appealing.
Yeah,
Granted,
well,
I was never invited
I
to
did
one,
it
but I
for
also
one
never
year.
found-
I did it for 1 year. I did my sophomore year, which it was cut short because of Corona. And by the time Corona rolled around, I partied for like a semester and a half, and I was done with it then. And like I will never look back.
Well, this is another conversation. Is like, what is a typical college party like now versus what it was like when I was a student?
Honestly, probably the same.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
We had some.
People still have a keg and
the
weed.
theater house was like, a little different and like we were, I don't know.
There's no theater house now, is there?
I know there's not, but they're like,
Now it's just sports teams.
It was very much like, like everybody else was charging for you to come in, and we were just like, yeah, everybody come in, be who you are, do what you do. We're going to play Grateful Dead for a long time.
For a long time.
There's beer pong, the people are smoking weed upstairs.
Well, that's soccer.
But it was like, very like open and like,
That's soccer.
come and be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't know, it just seemed like when we were students, there were a lot of people that were like, $5 for
That's
your
football.
stuff.
I'm telling you, they still exist. You were soccer, and that is football. And football is like the posing and like seeing who sees you there, and like pay $5. Girls are free.
Yes,
oh,
I think
you're
all
in,
that,
but
all
you're
that
not.
Stuff is very like a lot of stuff is similar, right? But like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to a big party.
the see who sees you there is different. And the theater house, like we were like, it wasn't like, I don't know, we would randomly in the middle of parties put on like, Allen Ginsberg reading a poem, or like we would just do weird shit, and like that was like people.
That happens at like bigger schools.
People came to expect it, right?
Yeah.
We would do things where like we had a luau, so we turned the heat up to 90 and cut a bunch of pineapples and put them on, like
Ouch.
things like that, right? And we would stop the party in the middle, and like I would always be like, when we would run out of beer, I would like stand on the couch and do like People
don't have beer on hand as much because of rape drugs. I will say that. Like,
Yeah,
there
that was
really
never-
aren't
that was
as
never
many
even something
keggers
that
and stuff
was, like,
exist.
even a thing.
If you're a girl, you are bringing your own booze. My mom would be like, please, just whatever you do, don't have
Ours was
this
also like
communal
like,
booze.
This is maybe like less like because you're not directly in the theater, but
Yeah.
we just all were together all the time. Everybody that did theater, like we were always all together,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
like,
that's how the radio used to be,
I don't
right?
know if it's the same way now,
Well, I mean,
right? Like we did shop together, then we left, and we all went to somebody's house, and like just a random Wednesday would drink a 6-pack of beer, and then like weekends we would have the parties all together. Like we were always all together, and like so there was like that core of people that you knew, the friend group, if
but
you
that's,
will.
even that's a little fractured.
What do you mean?
What?
Well, just like the theater isn't that much of a cohesive group.
Yeah.
I
Like,
could argue a
it's
lot of
even,
things
even
are.
within the theater, it has its own cliques. Now,
You're
so
right.
it's not like, it's not that like the biggest get-togethers that I think people have are the ones for like a rap party, where like even in the rap party you can see people congregating to different circles.
Well, sure. I mean, people always talk to other people, but there was like always the cognitive like
Community.
everybody like could talk to everybody and everybody genuinely. I mean, it was. I don't know. I don't want to like start like hypothesizing that technology has created division.
It's just easy not to
Question.
talk to people. It's a lot easier not to talk to people now.
So how do I wrap my head around? And I saw your question, but like, I've been starting to think a lot about like as a director, I want to it's my job to get people to express their emotions and then share their emotions and blah 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 blah. And I think that maybe emotions function differently with you guys, right? And so like if it's my job to get you to feel sad or whatever, to feel connected to another person, that connection may be different for someone who's grown up with the technology. You know what I mean? Like, or is it universal? Right? Does is it universal how Cordelia feels for King Lear, or is it different for someone to have to like someone who maybe has less experience with connection? Am I rambling, or do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I sort of get where you're coming from.
I think that
Do I need to think about unlocking people's emotive qualities in a different way?
I don't think so. I think that
No.
technology has given more value to when you're with someone. If you said to me, like, say I'm playing opposite someone in a play, I don't really know how this stuff works, and you're like, like, get close. Like, I would be like, hey, you want to, like, go to the library together? Do you want to just, like, sit and talk? Do you want to get a coffee? And there's so much more value to that because that doesn't happen as much.
So all right. So you Romeo and Juliet, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of oh, it's like this. Like it's a lot of media references because everybody's consuming media all the time.
Right. So yeah, that's the question. Is like, I can say, okay, watch this clip, and see how these people interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
Which is still putting the buffer on it. It's still putting the middle management in accessing your emotions. Like, whereas I would like to be able to sit down and be like, okay, let's do like sense memory recall stuff where we can talk about like things that you've experienced in your life, right? You've experienced, have you ever experienced a grandparent passing away, or have you ever experienced this, right? It's like, this is all Stanislavski, right? This is super, like, it's just acting technique stuff, right? Does that stuff work less?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you still feel things, right?
You're still human.
You still feel grief. You still feel love, right?
I think people.
It's just a matter of maybe getting there as differently.
I don't think so. I think if you sat down and asked me to talk about my dead grandma, I'd cry.
Okay, that's a bad example. But the love thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's different now.
maybe
I'm
you get
still
to love in a
butthurt about
different
my
way.
first boyfriend. If you were like, tell me about your first love, I'd be like,
Well, you can. There's a joke I heard recently where like you listen to your grandparents and how they met, and like the grandpa goes up to the grandma and goes, one day I'm gonna marry you, and like that's really romantic. And then if you did that in real life today, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
No,
and then
not
text all your
really.
friends, that's a little really super creepy.
Joe told me like the first week we were dating.
That's
I'm
exactly
like,
what
okay.
I'm saying. Like, condensed in one joke.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
it is. You would not find that super creepy.
It happened to me. I just told you.
Okay.
You would not, or you would.
No, I mean, we were
I
like
would
dating for
probably
like
do
2 or
that.
3 days, and he's like,
So if somebody
hey.
somebody said, "I'm going to
Uh-huh.
marry you someday."
I'd be like, cool.
Like,
How big is the ring?
So you would.
I'm not weird about marriage. I'm really
you would
not.
go along with it as like a joke and have fun with it.
Maybe,
just
but
saying
I'd be
most-
serious.
I'm just saying. I
Be
think
like, what's
most
your
people-
projected salary?
Most people would not do that. I don't think most people are into it.
Well, I'm weird, so.
No, I
I don't
agree,
get like
because
I don't get
that's-
weirded out by things.
I think that's
like
flattering
that.
and romantic, but I know that most people our age would not find that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I feel like our generation's weird about marriage too, because like half of everyone's parents are divorced.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
Everyone's jaded.
Well, I
But-
mean, I don't think that's necessarily new, right? That statistic's probably been true for the past 20 years.
I don't know. I feel like it gets worse and worse. Like
Which
more
I guess is
people
your
and more
generation.
people.
That makes sense then. Never mind.
Yeah, like millennials.
Yeah.
A little older than us.
I think more people are afraid of the idea of marriage. When back then it was like, he wants to marry me.
Yeah, like my
You know?
my parents got like my dad, they dated at senior in high school.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Navy and then they got married like right after at the courthouse. Like
Yeah.
when they were like 26, I would assume.
That's not
or no,
super
actually,
young.
No, they had me
It's gonna be way younger, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
they're just out of high school.
22, 23 maybe. Because he went to the Navy for like
And
4
now it's
years,
like
so-
26, 27, 28.
Yeah, so and yeah, because now
Yeah.
that my older cousin who also met his girlfriend in sophomore year, they dated for years and then only got engaged at like 28.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it takes longer to take that step now, mainly because the housing.
Yeah, more people want to be financially whatever.
Yeah, and they want to have a career off the ground before they even start.
You want to
anything,
accomplish some things.
which is
before.
understandable. It's just different.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that that's even that different, to be honest with you. I think, like, when I got married, we didn't get married till, I'm trying to think, like, so we started dating in 1997, we got married in 2004.
Huh.
Right? Yeah. We got engaged in 2002. So we were dating for 5 years before we got engaged.
Alright.
And then we were engaged for 2 years before we got married. I don't know if that's, like, weird or different or what, but, like,
No, I
No.
don't think so. What were both of your guys' like occupations at the time?
when we got married,
Yes.
I was the technical director at King's College Theater, and she was, at that point, teaching somewhere, I think.
Yeah, so you
You
both
know,
had
but also,
stable
like,
jobs.
Yeah, we didn't, though, right? Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, 3 years of my marriage, I lived in Philadelphia, and she lived here. 'Cause I was-
Really?
I was going to Temple for grad school.
Wait, I was gonna ask about that. Like how did that go?
It went, the best it could. It wasn't that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
like, we would see each other every weekend. We made that
Yeah.
point, right? I would drive up or she would drive down.
Yeah.
Long distance is a lot easier now with everything.
Yeah, but we were already married and in love, and, like, that wasn't going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a success story in that sense of, like, I don't think we're going to be, who knows, right? You never know, right?
When
but,
did
like,
you go to Temple?
2007 to 2009.
Huh. I didn't think it was that recent.
Yeah. I'm old. I'm super old. Come on. I just have a lot of gray hair, guys. I'm not
No,
as
I
old
know.
as-
I thought you went like closer to after.
No, I graduated here in 2000, and then I
Huh.
worked here for
Oh.
5 years, and
Ah.
then I left here because I was going to go to Mary Baldwin University in Virginia to get a Master's of Literature in Shakespeare Performance,
Huh.
which I'm glad I did not get into that college because, as much as I love it, like, their program is like, you learn how to do Shakespeare the way they did it in Shakespeare's time,
Yeah.
No,
which
kinda-
means you could totally work at that Shakespeare festival only, right?
You can be here.
So then then my mom died in 2006, which, like, changed everything, and then I always knew that I wanted to be here, right? And so then, I sent an email. I did the ERDAs, which is like a portfolio review for grad school, and I got a bunch of places that were interested in me in the Midwest. I'd already been married. Christina had a job with health insurance. So I sent an email to Temple and said, hey.
Hey. That's all.
And they said, hey. And I went down and I got in, and that was pretty much it. Then I came back here thinking that there would be a job, and there wasn't a job for a year, which is a lot of fun because, like, the things at King's don't always move the way you want them to.
Yeah.
So I then came back with my Master of Fine Arts degree, and I cooked at a daycare. Yeah, it was awesome. And I was the TD at Wyoming Seminary.
Aw.
And then I did a bunch of freelance stuff in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
All the while being, expecting our first child.
No.
Yeah, so that was pretty
That's a
scary.
lot, man. Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
So wait, what is your master's in?
Fine Arts. It's right up there if you want to look at it.
Design.
Master of Fine Arts and Theater Design.
Wow.
It's in the
It's
envelope.
still in the
I never
envelope.
bothered to take it out of the envelope.
That's
The
exciting.
King's one's in a frame, but
Yeah, I saw that one, and then I just rolled with it. That might be Temple.
well, it
But-
says Temple in the envelope. I actually don't know what's in there.
Wait, why are we just... John, get the envelope.
Go look. It better
I'm
be
only
in there,
asking because
honestly.
I'm genuinely, like, I don't know if I go to New York or
Is it in there?
Philadelphia.
It's in
Oh
there.
Christ! Good.
Let me
Thank God.
see!
Yeah, it's
Ah! Wait,
What's
I want
it
to put
say?
this on my story. Stop.
You put this on your story.
Yeah.
Master of Fine Arts Theater Design. Together with all the rights... Oh, yeah, okay.
Please read it. Read it real fancy, like together with all the rights, privileges.
We will fight on the beaches.
This be our finest hour, gentlemen.
Bert Kreischer's trying to do a Winston Churchill challenge where he wakes up, smokes a cigar in bed with breakfast in bed, and drinks a whiskey.
Like, what? He's gonna try to do that for what, like a week
Well,
and
like,
see if he doesn't
Winston
die?
Churchill did that every day.
Yeah.
And he tried, but they did it on Winston Churchill's birthday, and he was like, I want to keep doing that every
This
Sunday.
is the kind of thing, like, you know, these people live to be in their 80s and 90s,
He's
right?
gonna
Like,
be 90.
can you put that
Oh
on
my
upside
god,
down?
I cannot even read you his fucking haiku.
Who?
I said...
Joe Guido?
Did you
He
make
said,
Joe write
okay,
you a
word,
poem?
alright, I can't even read it.
Why?
I can't.
Is
it
it like
bad?
lovey-dovey?
Oh, let me see
Read
this.
it out
Don't read
loud, John.
it.
Read it. Read
Don't
it.
read it.
Read it out loud.
I can't.
Read it.
Read it in the voice.
In the Winston Churchill
Yes,
voice?
do it.
The color scarlet. Lovely, beautiful, titties. Your ass is pretty. Love Joe.
That's fucking gold. Is it actually a haiku?
I
I'm
don't
gonna count the syllables. Ooh, what can I work in that works with titties? How many syllables is that? 2? All right. Well, this was good. This was a sort of spur of the moment theme.
Yeah, that was fun.
ended off with that poem. My mom will be listening.
What was the point of this?
Wait, can we count this?
I don't know. The point of this was like, you know, this was me working through my curmudgeonliness, I think. And also, I mean, like, there's a greater point, but we've been told we're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh my
so,
god, whatever.
What?
5,
What's it supposed to be? Is it like 5'11", 6'11"?
7.
Haiku.
575. Why did
It
I
was
say-
575.